Hi. I'm Kunigunde. Here looking at the cherry blossoms at the University of Washington. I was going to take this video at the quad, but there are about 3,000 people there in that very small space, and so I've chosen this tree to represent the cherry blossoms out here. It's a wonderful spring day, and I am here in response to Mark Findley's sermon, A Time to Speak. So as an Adventist and a member of the LGBT community, I too am going to speak. In this video, I am not going to address anything that Elder Mark Findley actually said, but instead I'm going to concentrate on what he didn't say, but I wish he would have. In the 11th chapter of Luke, there are a series of woes that Jesus pronounces, and one of them is against the teachers of the law. Specifically, woe to the teachers of the law. You bind heavy burdens on men and do not lift a finger to help them. Pushing members of the LGBTQ plus community into the closet is a heavy burden and completely unnecessary. Not just for the New Testament's sake, but look at the Old Testament. In the 23rd chapter of Deuteronomy, the law says that no one who has been emasculated by cutting or crushing shall enter the assembly of the Lord. But in the book of Isaiah, which is the largest and perhaps considered the most important book in the Old Testament, in the 56th chapter we find eunuchs are perfectly welcome. Those eunuchs who keep the Sabbath, God tells them through Isaiah, don't think of yourself as a dried old tree. I'm going to give you an inheritance better than sons and daughters. And I will make a memorial to you in my temple. When we look at the book of Jeremiah, things get even more interesting, because there we have a group of people, king's advisors, who do not like Jeremiah, and they ask the king for permission to put him in an abandoned cistern, a mucky abandoned cistern. And then along comes Ebed-Melech. Now, Ebed-Melech is a Cushite. That means he's African. He's from Sudan, Uganda, Ethiopia, somewhere in the Upper Nile region. And he comes and asks permission to undo what the king just gave permission to do. And not only does he go and do it, but he thinks to bring along rags to pad the ropes so that they don't further injure Jeremiah coming out of that well. The law, in and of itself, is not sufficient reason to push the LGBTQ community back into the closet. One Sabbath day, as Jesus and his disciples were walking through a grain field and they began to eat the grain, the Pharisees came along and said, "Why are your disciples doing that which is unlawful on the Sabbath?" And Jesus' reply to them was quite surprising, and I've often wondered, it seems a little bit strange, but here it is. Have you not read that when he was hungry, David ate from the table of showbread, which was lawful only for the priests, and he gave some to his companions? Human need trumps the law sometimes. And in our church, we really need to work on improving that balance, at least discussing it. Later in that very same story, Jesus quotes the prophet Hosea as he adds a further justification to his declaration. He quotes God through the prophet Hosea, "I desire mercy and not sacrifice." Mercy is more important than sacrifice. And I wish that Mark Findley had said that. So, next time I will address what Mark Findley said. We'll talk about drag queens and Hollywood. Feel free to like, comment, and share this post. And if you disagree with it, there's another button that you can push that's not like, and feel free to comment. I will read the comments. Thank you very much. Bye.